Hey everyone, welcome to the Last Movie Run podcast. I'm your host, Josh Gilliam. I'm joined this week by Gary Torres.
Hello there.
All right, Gary, we're wrapping up a splendid 2024. And this year we're going to talk about, as our final episode of the year, hit or miss, the biggest box office hits and bombs of 2024.
It can only be so big and so little at the same time.
Well, I think we hit some like outstanding numbers in the hits and some like drastic losses in the misses, because the ones that hit really like flopped hard. So we're gonna
Only the ratings
start.
will tell.
We're gonna start with the hits, Gary. We're gonna go. We're gonna do an honorable mention with the sixth highest of the year, and then we're gonna go till we hit the biggest.
All right.
So, any guesses to what the sixth highest grossing movie of 2024 was?
The sixth highest. Can I get a hint?
Absolutely not.
There's too many films, man.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It involves a really green woman and
Really green
Ariana
woman.
Grande.
Are you talking about the Wicked film?
I'm talking about Wicked. So, Gary, on a budget of $145 million, and of course, Hollywood accounting, these numbers do not count like marketing, theater distribution. So you want to count all that in by essentially doubling the budget is the general rule of thumb. So on a budget of 145 million, a total budget of an estimated 290 million, this movie made, and this is still in theater, so this is not an entirely accurate number, although I do not think it would have charted into the top five. As of right now, this has made $586,000.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry,
So far.
thousand. This has made $586 million.
I was about to say, this is it's fairly low. That is crazy though. And it's still in office, so it could still keep climbing.
Mm-hmm.
It could take one of these slots.
So it is about to cross like the $300 million threshold for their take home, which is impressive. My girlfriend went and saw that movie. She loved it. I did not go with her. I was too busy watching Red One, I think. I should have just gone and seen Wicked.
Just walk out of the theater, just movie hop like the old days.
I should have. God, I hated Red One. Yeah. So Wicked was good. I mean, it has an incredible response. It was part one, which a lot of people didn't know going in. I actually think the numbers would be higher if that was more disclosed going into this.
That's surprising it was only a part one. I didn't hear too much about that, but the fact that there's going to be a part two to that, it might help it increase even further because people will go back and look at the first one if they didn't see it.
Yeah. So that was our honorable mention here. The sixth highest grossing movie of 2024. Ready to get into the top five?
Let's get into it, sir.
At the fifth highest grossing movie of 2024, Gary, we have Dune Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was highly anticipated. I remember the hype around this because did you see Dune 1?
I had not had the chance, but I heard it was really great for what it was.
I saw it when it came out because Dune 1 came like straight to streaming because it was in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So Dune Part 2 getting a proper theatrical release, this did really well. On a budget of $190 million, and this movie was everywhere, so it had to have a massive marketing push.
Yeah.
An estimated $380 million. This movie grossed $714 million, which means the studio took home about $334 million.
Is that my grand prize?
No, hell no, you're
It's
not getting
their
paid
grand
for this.
prize, really.
Yeah, that movie did really well. I mean, I think it's in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes. It was really good. Austin Butler was great in that movie. I'm a little hit or miss with Timothy Chalamet. I know he's a big deal, but I thought he did really well in that as well.
Yeah, I haven't watched too much with Chalamet. I know he did really good in Willy Wonka.
I didn't like him in Willy Wonka or
You
Wonka.
didn't? I heard it wasn't bad,
I
honestly.
just didn't like the movie. I know, like my girlfriend
Mm,
really enjoyed it, but I didn't care for it.
like he does pretty well. I know Austin Butler always does really well in what he
I do
does because I
really
love
like
him in
Austin
the
Butler.
Elvis movie.
hmm Elvis and I really enjoyed him in The Bike Riders with Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, pretty solid take home here for Dune 2. Who distributed that? That was Warner Brothers. Wow. David Zaslav did something good. Warner Brothers CEO.
Meh.
Well, I guess he did pump out a phenomenal movie and then canceled like 18. So, you know,
It's like
anything
let
to
me just re-strategize.
anything to crawl out of the Warner Brother Discovery debt hole, I guess. They owe like I don't even remember how much it is.
A sheer ridiculous amount.
They owe $40 billion in debt.
I mean, if you ask me, that's just one good movie though.
$40 billion?
Nah.
Endgame only made $1 billion. Maybe if Warner Brothers put out Endgame 2,
Electric Boogaloo.
yeah, they'd make their 40 million back.
Do you think they put the Trash Man as their next villain?
Yes. Yes, if they had Danny DeVito's the Trash Man fighting the Avengers, yeah, they'd make their 40 billion. All right, Gary. Fourth place we have Moana 2 coming out of Disney. This on a budget of 150 million. So, 300 when doubled and accounted for.
Yep.
Made $820 million.
Oh wow,
Yeah, that's actually really impressive. And that
that's
came out
really high.
recently, so that like really blew up. Because that
Yeah, that
means
was what,
Disney's
only a month?
yeah, that came out in November. We're recording this at the end of December, and so this is made a really quick turnaround. It's still in theaters too.
Yeah,
But that is currently that's brought Disney in $500 million, 520 million as of
just
time of
raking it
recording.
in like usual. Then
Yeah. Once again, went to see this with my girlfriend. Um, it was good. I actually preferred the first one,
I like the first
but
one.
does it matter? No.
Eh,
Made $500 million. Disney didn't give a shit what I have to say.
they don't care. They're just
No,
like,
they
look at my
don't.
stacks, look at my racks.
Yeah. It
You
actually
know,
made a
like
ton of money internationally. It only made about 370 million
hmm.
domestically here in the US. It actually lost to Wicked, but Moana 2 really made up for it by making about 500K internationally. Did really well. Any guesses to what's in spot 3? It is one. It's
Oh,
like I would never have guessed this would have cracked the top 5. Truly,
I personally could not guess what it is just because I'm still thinking about the last suggestion, we'll call it.
Gary. The third highest grossing movie of 2024 was Despicable Me 4.
I mean, Steve Carell does do good. He's put out four of these now, not
Yeah,
counting the side piece movies.
the the Minions movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on a budget of $100 million, so you figure with marketing, and there was a big toys push for this one because it was a kids movie, probably cost around 250 million dollars when
Something
all
like
was
that.
said and done. uh Gary, this movie made $969 million.
What?
Yeah, so they almost cracked $1 billion with Despicable Me 4.
I feel like that's a bit insulting.
Maybe
Like,
Illumination
I
really did like go insane with this movie. They
just,
basically have the X-Men in it.
they did, now that you mention it. They did that in the Minions movie kind of too, though.
Hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah, Illumination. This was such a massive payday for them. They made $769 million.
Jeez. Just raking it in. And Steve's just like, let me put out a fifth one or a Minions movie again.
Yeah. What's crazy is they did that. That's not even the highest grossing Illumination movie.
No?
No, it's actually not. I think it's like the fifth.
Oh, wow. Only
The
fifth?
first and actually the second and third made more money than this.
Wow.
Despicable Me 2 was 975 million lifetime gross,
See, that makes sense.
and Despicable Me 3 cracked a billion, as did 2015's Minion movie.
Oh, gosh.
No, I actually forgot this was Illumination. The Super Mario Brothers movie is their highest grossing movie.
That newer one, right?
Yeah, that came out last year.
Not the old one.
No,
You sure
not
you
the
don't want
live
to do the
action one.
Mario?
I don't want to talk about the Mario movie from like the 90s. I'm really surprised Despicable Me 4 made the list, but I didn't realize the other two grossed so much money, so I guess I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, just the other ones were more pivotal, but at the same time, the series has done wonders.
Yeah, I know, right? So let's get back on track. The second
Indeed.
highest grossing movie.
Let's
Gary,
get
you
back to
would
what's
never believe
important.
this. You would never believe what the second highest grossing movie of 2024 is.
I will stay in shock. I know the viewers can't see me, but my hands are on my head in shock waiting.
It's Deadpool and Wolverine,
Oh my God.
the only Marvel movie to come out of the studio this year. Um,
Feels
on a
criminal that it's number
budget
2.
on a budget of $200 million, something that'll be in common with the highest grossing movie and a couple of the lowest grossing movies. A lot of these things cost 200 mil.
Oof.
On a budget of $200 million, Gary, an estimated marketing toy thing of 400, Deadpool and Wolverine raked in a calm and collected $1,338,000,000.
That's what we like to hear right there. That's what we like to hear. That
So
is fantastic.
this pulled in, you know, when you account for everything, Marvel pulled in $938 million for this movie.
Yeah, their returns were just fantastic.
That is insane. This movie did that. I mean, people love Deadpool. They've been excited for this one for a long time, but it doesn't make it any less impressive, I don't think.
Yeah, the fans have been waiting for a team up movie for so long.
Plus, that was a cameo feast.
Oh yeah, it was a cameo gold mine.
That's what everyone's been wanting from the multiverse saga. Everyone goes to a Marvel movie now. They're like, oh my God, Doctor Strange 2 is gonna reveal all the X-Men, and just Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart rolls out in a big bathtub wheelchair. And I'm surprised Marvel didn't pull in $1 billion from this. I mean, obviously it made it, but when you account for the budget, they were so close too. But everyone's seen
Yeah,
it. I went and saw this movie like 3 times.
yeah. I waited for it to come to streaming. I've watched it like 3 times on streaming.
Yeah. Oh, you and I didn't go see it.
No, I went with a different friend group, and watched
Yeah.
it in theaters, like a group of 12.
Jesus. Were you all dressed up as Wolverine?
No, it was just like a big hangout vacation for a friend.
Okay. Yeah, I think the first time I saw this, I was with my brother. Then I was on a road trip with my girlfriend, and she hadn't seen it. So we just stopped one night and watched it. And then I think I went and saw it with someone else. Like, I saw it so many times.
Yeah, it's just so good.
It was incredible. Now, yeah, I feel like everyone expected that to be number one. I did.
I did.
The number one pick I knew did so well, but I didn't think it'd top Deadpool and Wolverine. Gary, the number one highest grossing movie of 2024 was Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2.
I'm still just in awe. That's why I'm not saying anything of reaction or anything. It's just the
Well,
fact that it passed it.
yeah, I know. I guess, like, I get Deadpool and Wolverine was rated R. You can't take your kids to go see that.
Yeah, because it makes sense why.
Mm-hmm. So Like when you include the kids market, all the parents, I went and saw this. I don't have kids,
Yeah.
but it was really good. I was really surprised. I think I liked it more than the first, which I had to, of course, sit through before I watched the second. God forbid. I don't know what's going on in Inside Out 2. It was pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it. But Gary, on a budget of $200 million, estimated 400 with marketing, toys, and distribution costs, Inside Out 2 made 1,698,765,616,
Jeez.
which,
That's crazy.
if you've been doing the math at home, which I know you haven't, that means, Gary, that Disney and Pixar pulled in $1,298,000,000.
I mean, the first one did great, but like, I didn't think the second one would do that great.
So rounding up, Inside Out 2 pulled in $1.3 billion after paying off the budget.
My God.
Comparatively, the first one only made 859 million. So
That's
they
a big step
basically
up.
doubled their intake. It's got to be one of the like best performing sequels of all time, right?
It feels like it with
Like
with
that
an
is
income like
insane.
that.
That is insane. And it was a good movie.
Yeah, I heard it was good. I watched the first one, and the first one was really good. Like it relates to a lot of the younger generation, even the older generation that like thinks about their younger times. Like
Mhm.
it's very relatable.
Yeah. I would never have guessed it would have taken the number one spot. But
Me neither. It's kind of
uh,
devastating to me in my Marvel heart.
the hype was as real as it could get, I suppose.
Indeed.
That was the top five and the sixth honorable mention. Highest grossing films of 2024. I want to know what you think the best movie you saw this year was.
I mean, it's gonna be hands down Deadpool and Wolverine.
You think so?
Not even because I'm a Marvel nerd, but it was a really well made movie.
Yeah.
Cameo central, like you said. It's just it all interconnected, and then it has the Deadpool humor, Wolverine's seriousness trying to like ignore his humor.
Yeah.
It's like it's what people were wanting from it, and they got what they wanted, and they loved it.
Mm, yeah. I didn't see a crazy amount of movies in theaters this year. I'm actually looking through my AMC thing right now. And besides Deadpool and Wolverine, I think one of my favorite movies of the year, God forbid I don't bring it up on the last movie run, might be the movie Saturday Night.
Uh, the
It,
SNL movies.
the SNL movie. It really was that good. I love that movie. But ultimately, yeah, I think it is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah,
It was too good.
it just feels like nothing could top it to me. But
Something
that's
did
just in my
top it.
opinion. Exactly.
All right, Gary. Now that we've talked about all the good stuff, let's talk about the shit that came out this year
Shit box we go.
in our series, which will be happening more regularly starting next year. Hit or miss. Um, Unfortunately, we have to talk about the bombs of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So I had categorized this so many different ways, but ultimately I made it match up with the way we did the hits.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, I will tell you how much money this lost comparatively with the budget, and I will tell you how much it like lost. So we'll start off with a dishonorable mention. The sixth lowest grossing movie of 2024 was Madam Web.
I thought it would be lower.
The fact this isn't at the top of this list breaks my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I would have put it at least in top three.
I hated that movie. Unfortunately, I'm part of the problem. I bought a ticket for it.
Yeah, you gave them their extra cents to not be within at least the top five.
I hate this movie. On a budget of $80 million, an estimated 160, because this did have a massive marketing push. That honestly,
Yeah.
I think the marketing for this movie just made people want to see it less.
Yeah, there was so many commercials everywhere about it. Everywhere you looked, there was something to do with that movie.
Dakota Johnson was not helping this succeed. I
Not at
think she
all.
wanted this to fail.
There's a chance.
The cast was stacked too. Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney was in this. You know, this had potential. Unfortunately, Sony made it.
Yeah, when they try to do their adaptations, it gets difficult. Like the real main thing they usually put out is like regular Spider-Man stuff because they want their name on it now. But like even still, it doesn't turn out very well nowadays.
No, I really think that if Craven the Hunter had come out 3 months ago, it would be well onto this list. Unfortunately, the numbers aren't like concrete enough for me to say anything on it. Yeah, on a budget of $80 million, an estimated $160 million total, this only made $100 million at the box office. It lost $60 million, which is 38% loss.
Yeah,
Devastating.
I still thought it would have lost more.
Me
We have
too.
people that have to review it for their channels and or podcasts, so they're
I didn't have a
contributing
podcast in
to the
February. I
problem.
did that shit for me.
And here we are.
And here we are talking about it anyway. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Getting into the list. The fifth lowest grossing movie of 2024 was The Crow. This was an unnecessary remake. They
Yeah.
did not have to make this. They did it anyway. And we taught them a lesson, I guess.
Reminds me of the Hellboy remake.
Oh man, the one with David Harbour.
Yeah, I love David Harbour, but like, God, it felt bad. Felt
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Remakes are just like never good.
That was a
Kind of ruins the
Lionsgate
image of the
movie.
first ones. Was
Lionsgate
it
used to
now?
make good stuff.
Yeah, they really did.
What happened? Anyway, on a budget of $50 million, an estimated $100 million, this only made 24.
Oh, oh my God.
So this would have lost half its budget anyway. And then they decided to market the movie to try to make some money and lost $76 million.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is why we
So
don't make remakes.
pulling in a 76% loss for your movie is rough. And what's crazy is that's only the fifth.
That is only the fifth. And that percentage is massive.
I know. I don't even know what to say about it. I didn't go see that one.
I didn't either. I
I
just
didn't
know
bother.
not to watch remakes.
My cousin, shout out Seth, is a massive, massive horror movie fan. He loves The Crow. He told me he'd gotten a copy of the original script, I believe. Seth, like blow up my phone if I got that wrong. He got a copy of the original script one year as like a gift. So he loves The Crow.
It is a good
And
movie.
the original is a good movie. I remember him saying that he'd gone to see this, and I don't think even he liked it. So
He's like, what have they done? They
yeah,
butchered it.
so this sucked. But you know what else sucked, Gary?
What else sucked, Josh?
The fourth lowest grossing movie of 2024, Borderlands.
I was not excited for that movie at all.
This movie came out 7 years too late.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it did.
10 years too late, really, because of they made this 10 years ago. Maybe the cast would actually be of age to play these characters.
That too, yeah. A
I
lot of
don't know.
fossils for
I don't know why
characters.
they cast it this way. It's
I don't
terrible
know.
casting.
I think they just wanted big names on it.
Probably. I didn't like this movie. I did go and see this one. Jack Black as the robot was fun, but when the only thing fun in your movie is Jack Black as a robot, you've done something wrong.
Yeah, because that's just Jack Black being Jack Black at that point.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, on a budget, Gary, of $115 million. Now, normally I would double this. However, Forbes reported that they said straight up to break even, we need to make 145 million,
Ooh,
which means that's how much they'd put into it.
they were reaching, is what they were doing.
They only made $31 million on
Oh
this
my
movie.
God.
They lost a total of $114 million.
I'm just wondering who okayed the idea of this movie and who let it keep going, you know?
This pulled in a 79% loss for whatever studio did Borderlands. What are the odds it's also Lionsgate?
Oh my God, please no.
Lionsgate Films.
Oh my God, no. I feel
Horrible
like they're
year for
just
Lionsgate.
slapping that name around at this point.
Poor Lionsgate. Never mind. Wait.
Oh,
Developed by Avi Arad. This deserved a flop.
that's fine. That's fine then.
Avi
Perfectly
Arad,
fine.
for all those who don't know, he was a big guy behind the Spider-Man and Marvel stuff in the early 2000s, like X-Men, Daredevil. He hated comics. He's not a good guy.
He
Kevin
hates what's good.
Feige, he tried to like put his hands in the MCU and Kevin Feige forced him out. And now everything he does is terrible. Like when he really got control, that's when we started getting like bloated Spider-Man movies. I'm fine with this. Now, I think this movie was always going to bomb. This was terrible. The minute they announced the casting, the internet was mad. The minute the trailers came out, the internet was mad. This doesn't follow the story correctly. So why would it do well? Gary,
What do you got for us?
what if I told you, Gary, that the third lowest grossing movie of 2024 was Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis?
I would tell you that I need a history lesson.
Well, Gary, this has been, speaking of history, this has been in the works for like 30 or 40 years. Francis Ford Coppola's wanted to make this movie and never got around to it. Then suddenly was like, I'm old. I can do what I want. I'm going to finally make Megalopolis. Stars Adam Driver in a role I don't understand based on the trailers. Apparently, there was a part in that like he spoke to the audience, but they had to have a movie attendant standing in the theater to talk back to him because it was a conversation. So just the worst all around.
Seems really like just dumb.
And you'd be right. But how much do you think that dumb movie cost?
Dumb amount of money, Josh.
What if I told you, Gary, that this pile of garbage cost baseline budget $120 million?
I feel like that you're telling me it cost too much money.
Now, what if I told you that I didn't even do the full double the budget thing for this one because I had such low expectations of it. Plus, I didn't see like any marketing for it. So what if I told you the estimate was $180 million?
I tell you, you're really reaching now.
Now, what if I told you it only made $14 million at the box office?
I would tell you that they're gonna go into financial debt.
This lost $166 million.
You might as well just say they lost the whole budget, really.
This pulled in a 93% loss.
God,
Who's responsible?
who gave us this garbage? Don't say Lionsgate.
Lionsgate distributed Megalopolis.
No.
I'm noticing a very distinct pattern. What happened? Lionsgate used to do good stuff.
Bro, it is literally just a flaming garbage pile at this point then.
Is this like, besides Madam Web, our honorable mention, Lionsgate distributed numbers 3, 4, and 5 of the worst grossing movies this year?
Dear God. Lionsgate's just in the toilet, Josh.
This is horrifying. You know, they did Lord of the Rings.
How do you go from Lord of the Rings to this? I know you can't always put out gold, but like you can't keep putting out back to back garbage.
I don't know. This is Megalopolis just sucked. They didn't even show it at the AMC near my house because I was
Rightfully so.
curious. I kind of wanted to go see it, watch a
Mm,
car burn in real time.
you know.
Now, Gary, I'm just gonna skip out. I don't know what else to say about Megalopolis. I really don't. It's a nothing movie. It deserved to lose that much money.
Mm,
But you'll
yeah.
know all about second lowest grossing movie of 2024,
Will I now, Josh?
Joker Fully Ado.
Uh, right where it belongs.
Come on, man. We left it a pretty fairly positive review at the time.
I tried my hardest to just like be nice about it,
This
but
was
I
our
still won't
second
change my opinion about it.
this was our second episode of the last movie run. Gary, you and I discussed Joker 1 and 2. It's kind of crazy to me that they did this.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was another Lionsgate at this point.
No. This was Warner Brothers.
Dear God, I know it's Warner Brothers. It's just, come on.
But I think this only flopped because it was a musical.
Yeah. I mean, the story's not bad.
I didn't mind the story. I thought it was a pretty solid. I at the time I like really loved the court sequences and I stand by that.
Yeah, those were good.
I think if people went into this knowing they were going to see Joaquin Phoenix, one, having sex with Lady Gaga for 3 minutes, and
Nah, that shit was like 2 seconds.
two, doing a little sing song with Lady Gaga, I think people would have been like, okay, it's gonna like still gonna go see it, but it may not be all that. But instead, they were like, oh, it's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be violence like the first movie, and then Joaquin Phoenix was on the mic.
Yeah.
But Gary, wouldn't you know it? This movie cost $200 million to make.
Just because of Gaga, just because she's in it.
But yeah, this was like significantly higher than the Joker 1 budget. But again, according to Forbes, the studio came out and said to break even for this movie, we need to make $450 million. Now that is over double.
They have to double the budget, basically. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So the rule is normally like you would have to make 400 million.
Mm-hmm.
Not for Joker. I don't know what they did, but they needed 450. Any guesses as to how much this made? People went and saw it. It just
Yeah.
really, this should not have cost this much money.
I'm really contemplating because I don't want to give it a high, absurd number because I know it's low, but not super low like I would think it is.
Based on $450 million, knowing it's the second lowest grossing movie of the year.
I feel like it's 10.
$10 million?
I feel like it.
Our theater was half full, dude. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm still going more towards opinion.
$206 million.
That's way more than what I thought.
Yes, but consider this, they lost $244 million.
Yeah. They didn't even break even.
No, they lost 55% of what they put in.
I mean, compared to our last three, though, that we've mentioned already, it's a complete upside compared to the rest. It's just rated as horrible, though.
Kind of. So this is second because of how much it lost compared to how much was put into it. If we're
Yeah.
talking like how much money they put in compared to how much, like the percent loss instead of the value lost, Megalopolis would have been number one. The movie
Yeah,
made
that's what I'm
nothing.
saying. Just because of that percentage of the last one, it's way higher
Yes.
than what I thought.
If you want to listen to our Joker Fully Ado review, go listen to episode 2 of the last movie run. Because Gary, the number one lowest grossing movie of 2024, Argyle.
Argyle.
Yeah. I was so excited for Argyle. I remember they did, AMC does this thing called Screen Unseen, and it is all about we're going to preview a movie. You don't know what it is. You buy the ticket and you go see it. There is a Reddit page for it where people guess what it is based on, because they'll give you the runtime and the relative release date of it. And people were saying this is going to be Argyle. I bought tickets for that screen unseen and sat through some shit about losing your husband. It was not Argyle. And the minute people realized it wasn't Argyle, like half the theater walked out.
And they were just like, what did I waste my money on?
Yeah, I went and got a refund
Rightfully so.
because I was just so disappointed. I don't know. I actually enjoyed Argyle when I finally went and saw it. So, but no one wanted to see it. I think the problem is they lauded this movie as this came from the twisted mind of Matthew Vaughn, who is the guy who did Kingsman. So people are expecting like the secret agent movie starring Henry Cavill, which he was not in it all that much. You know, people are thinking, okay, this is going to be a super spy movie from the guy who did Kingsman. This is going to be insane. And it wasn't. I actually like the premise. It was about a writer who has written something that actually happened. And later in the movie, it turns out she knows it happened because she's an amnesiac spy and they've been keeping tabs on her, but she got too close and now they have to do this. And the bad guys in it is her dad. I don't know. It was fun, but
This is a whole mess of stuff.
it was just kind of a mess. They tried to do you remember in the first Kingsman movie where all the heads explode and there's a dance
Yeah.
sequence and there's fighting to it? They tried to do that again, but with like slow paced music, and it wasn't the same. It would have been fun if they'd chosen a different song, I think. There were also like way too many damn twists in that movie. But Gary, Argyle cost $200 million.
Again, too much money.
And wouldn't you know it, double that, it cost $400 million. Gary, in the worldwide box office, Argyle only raked in $96 million.
Oh, God.
A 76% loss, totaling in $304 million of lost revenue.
Yeah.
The biggest flop of 2024 lost over $300 million.
Ugh. Jeez.
Absolutely devastating.
It's just hard to even make one of these lists, you know?
It's
Like,
hard to
what's the
hear it.
best? What's the worst? Like, the best is always, you're gonna know what's the best because you've watched it, you've seen it, and
Mhm.
you thoroughly enjoyed it. It's understandable. But when
Yeah.
it gets to the worst, it's heartbreaking to hear the numbers, the percentages, the cost factors. It's
Yeah, I know,
like
right?
so much effort wasted for it to just be garbage.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to do the best of because it's like, oh, Deadpool and Wolverine made almost $1 billion. It would have been crazy if it just made this much more. And then you go to the worst. It's like, oh my God, Joker 2 lost half of its budget. That's so sad.
Yep.
Megalopolis only made $14 million. It's absurd.
I mean, you could have fooled me and told me that was number one. Honestly, that's what I was saying. Those
Yeah.
those first three mentions
What do you
were
think?
honestly worse.
What do you think? I'm going to talk specifically about Joker 2.
Okay.
What would you have done if Warner Brothers approached you here? I'll be David Zaslav for a minute.
All right. All right. All right.
Gary, you're the biggest and best upcoming director of our time. The guy who did the original Joker, he didn't want to do Joker 2, something about integrity or something. You want to make a fucking musical. We don't want that. What's your pitch for Joker 2, Gary? What would you do with this beloved movie that we're demanding a sequel for?
Keep the dark theme. No musicals. The soundtrack was great, but God, no musicals. It feels like all the scenes budgets were spent on musicals, and Joaquin Phoenix giving Lady Gaga the one pump chump.
We hired Lady Gaga. What the hell do we do with her?
She doesn't even know what she's doing there, honestly.
That's
She's just
irrelevant.
there to be there, but it's irrelevant. Don't worry about it.
Just make Joaquin Phoenix do a sex scene with her. Can we do a musical?
Apparently.
Perfect. You're
I
hired.
said no, though.
You're hired. Make a musical. The other guy wanted to make a musical. We told him to beat it. We want you to make a musical. I'm David
You got
Zaslav.
it. I'll put the music scores up now.
Okay, I'm gonna go hire the worst board of executives you've ever seen.
Let's get it done. Let's make some money.
God. Yeah, I can't believe these movies flopped. All right. What do you think the worst movie of the year was, Gary? Like you, for you personally?
I mean, it's got to be Joker.
The worst movie you saw this year was Joker 2?
Well, because all the movies I saw this year, I didn't see a crazy amount, but the ones that I did see, like majority of them, I did enjoy.
Okay.
It's just that was the only one that stood out to me as like, what did I just watch?
I will say, and I feel bad, Alex was supposed to be here today. He had to miss it. I feel bad because the past 5 episodes of Last Movie Run we did, and I've apologized to him for this numerous times. Every time I had you or you and Thomas on here, we were talking about good stuff. Like we talked about the
Yeah,
Penguin, John Wick,
everything that's like a A at
Transformers,
least of something that's good.
Joker. The only bad thing you experienced was Joker 2.
You've
Poor
only had the
Alex.
bad.
He was on here for 2 episodes and he got to talk about Venom, Venom 3, Red 1, Gladiator 2, which was good, but he actually didn't enjoy it all that much. And Agatha All Along was the only good thing he got to talk about.
Yeah,
For me, the worst
he's
movie of the year was Red 1.
it
Easily
did
the
look bad.
biggest pile of dog shit I've ever seen put to screen. I hated Red 1
I got
passionately.
lucky I didn't go looking for it.
Venom 2 is a close second. I will say before doing this podcast, I only ever saw movies I wanted to go see. I didn't see that many bad movies, but because
Now
of
you
this,
gotta
like
look for the same coin.
to fill out the release schedule, I was like, okay, Venom's coming out. That'll be a big deal to talk about. And then I'm watching this terrible movie. So I have seen a lot more bad movies because of this. But with that, Gary, we're going to bring 2024 to a close here on Fourth Dimension Broadcasting. You and I, of course, will be back for our
Yes,
other
we will.
phenomenal podcast, Trading Paperbacks. In the middle of January, our first 4 episodes wrapped up right around the holidays with a little Christmas special
A
talking about
little bit Christmas.
Secret Wars.
Oh,
Yeah. This was fun. This was a fun first year. We have a lot of big stuff planned coming for 2025. The last movie run will return. We're going to take January off. We're kind of restructuring some things. We're figuring it out. It's going to be a little more segment based than like the news, this movie, that movie, we're done. It's going to be maybe a more segment based, or maybe we won't do the second movie. Maybe we'll do more news. Maybe we'll do no news in a second movie. We're working it out. But Gary, I appreciate you because you've been on the most episodes of this.
I enjoy the time spending here. I enjoy it.
I know you and I kind of have our hands full with trading paperbacks. Come the new year, I'm gonna be moving to more of a permanent co-hosting kind of thing. I think that first episode still might be a little all over the place regarding who's on the episodes, and we will still have other people on. But I'm happy to announce that my wonderful friend and co-host Alex Cantor, moving forward, is going to be more of a permanent voice here on the Last Movie Run.
That's what we like to hear.
We will be back I believe the first week of February, where we'll be talking about something. We're kind of just going to come back and do something light. And then that third week of February, second episode of the Last Movie Run for the new year, we're talking Love Hurts and Captain America Brave New World. And with that, we will see you all in the new year. Can you believe
Okay.
it, Gary? It's over already.
I can't.
Do you have a resolution?
Pick up more books. Uh, watch more films and shows for content.
I'm going to read less books and watch less movies so I can come
Well,
to
you're going to
these
be on your
less
hiatus.
informed. No, all year, nothing going on.
But then we won't have a channel, Josh.
Well, the channel is just you guys are going to carry it this time.
Oh, jeez.
I'll come back in 2026.
Just wearing a Hawaiian shirt, sunglasses.
Also, all year.
He's
Freezing
like,
cold.
I just came back from vacation.
All right. Everyone have a wonderful new year. We will see you guys in 2025. Bye.
Bye.